What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Let's Go Show, episode 8, where we sit down and we talk about all of the things going on in the world of entertainment and pop culture. I'm your boy, Matt Supes Ramos, and today I am joined by my boy, Geo.
Hey, didn't see you guys there. Welcome to the
Welcome
pod.
to the pod, bro. Bro, I can never predict the way you're going to hop on this podcast. You always gotta
I don't know. I
something.
got some plans next week to bring in a stunt guy. It's gonna get pretty weird. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he calls me back.
See, that's why people gotta tune into the pod, not even to listen to what we have to say or talk about, just to see how you're gonna enter the pod.
It's got to be a special entrance every time. If there is none, then why are we here? Why do we exist?
Yep. No, but we're here, man. We're here, and what a massive week it's been for like pop culture in general, mainly for DC fans. And today, our conversation is going to be dominated by two main topics. First, we're going to talk about the DC slate and all of the announcements DC has made, and just talk about the future of DC. The second conversation is going to be focusing on the Super Bowl trailers, because as most of us know, the Super Bowl is going down next Sunday. We got the DC slate, we got Super Bowl trailers. We are being fed, my friends. So starting off with the DC properties, this week, James Gunn decided to hit a little buzzer beater right at the end of January. On January 31st, he finally gave us a taste of what the future of DC is going to look like. This new wave of DC is labeled as the DCU, and Chapter 1 is titled Gods and Monsters. Gunn unveiled, I think it was 10 projects, and they all span from animated shows to limited series to feature films to Elseworld stories that don't even connect. One Elseworld story that we are all very excited to see is The Batman 2, which is officially titled The Batman Part 2. Here we're going to see Matt Reeves come back and do his thing. He's currently working on finishing up that script. Robert Pattinson is expected to return. Zoe Kravitz is expected to return. And The Batman Part 2 is going to be hitting theaters on October 3rd, 2025. Now, another movie that's going to be hitting theaters for the DCU in 2025 is Superman Legacy. And this is going to be the movie that kicks off the DCU and really gets things going. This is the Superman reboot. You know, we all were there when Henry Cavill had to post on Instagram saying that he was done playing the character. And DC decided to move forward without him. Again, that was a very questionable decision, even still to this day. But we move. Superman is coming to the big screen, and guess what? After all these years, I've been sleeping pretty damn good the past couple of days, knowing when we're finally going to get the next Superman solo movie in theaters, and that is going to be on July 11th, 2025. So this is actually the first time in history that we are getting both a Superman solo film and a Batman solo film releasing in the same year, ever. And like 2025 is going to be insane, dude, because not only do we have Superman Legacy, not only do we have the Batman Part 2, which we know is going to be a masterpiece, but Marvel is also bringing their guns to the party. They got the Fantastic Four that comes out in February of 2025. And then we also have Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. Everything that Marvel has been building towards is leading to Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret Wars. And that entire Avengers saga, the Avengers movies, are coming back to theaters on May 6th. 2025. So we got an Avengers movie, we got a Fantastic Four movie, a Superman movie, a Batman movie, and I think we got Avatar. Do we have Avatar?
2025 is going to be the time to be alive. It's stacked. Everything you can possibly want to see. I'm going to Google Avatar right now. See if
correction. No, Avatar comes out December 24.
2024.
December 2024. Mm-hmm. So 2025, I think we're getting a Star Wars movie in 2025. Christmas of 2025.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken, but we don't even know what's going on at Lucasfilm. We don't know what's going on their movie side of things. But in regards to DC and what they got coming, we got Superman Legacy. Man, okay, I am so excited. This is my most anticipated movie. You guys know me. Superman was the character that saved my life. He was my rock. He was him and Spider-Man were everything for me, and Optimus Prime. But mainly, look, Superman is my favorite character of all time, and this is my most anticipated movie right now out there of all of the films that have been announced. Secret Wars is right behind it as well. And there's, I could go on and on about all of the movies that I'm excited about. But Superman Legacy is at the top because of what this character means. And I feel like in today's day and age, we need a Superman movie now more than ever. And James Gunn actually just announced that this Superman Legacy movie is going to take heavy inspiration of the infamous comic All-Star Superman. I literally have this comic. I literally have it right here.
Go get it. Go show the boys. Show the boys.
Boom. One of the greatest Superman stories ever. And this story embodies everything that Superman is, what he stands for, what he means to people. And the fact that we're finally getting a Superman movie. As much as I loved Henry Cavill's Superman, we're finally getting a Superman movie where he is happy, where it's optimistic, where the tone is going to be, it's going to be a completely different tone from the Snyder movies. And as much as I love Man of Steel, as much as I love BVS and the Snyder cut, it's time we get a Superman film with a light, bright tone. Superman is the light in a world of darkness. And that's how James Gunn described this movie. He said that this is not an origin story, and it focuses on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. He is the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way. I prefer the slogan, truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, but whatever. That's what James Gunn said. He is kindness in a world that thinks that kindness is old-fashioned. So, man, Superman Legacy hitting theaters on July 11th, 2025, and that is going to really kick things off for the new DCU. Gio, what are your thoughts on this, bro?
Bro, for all those who are listening right now and are not watching it on YouTube, as Matt is telling us this, he's got a little Clark Kent bang just dangling beautifully, just perfectly, dancing in the sun right now. And, you said that Superman All-Star is your favorite, Superman comic, or at least one of your favorites. And you're very excited because the movie is based on the comic. I never read it. I know there's a lot of people listening who probably never read it either. What is the comic? What makes you excited for this movie? Because the comic it's related to the comic. Can you fill us in on what the comic's about and what you're hoping the story touches on?
Yeah, so the comic itself, it kind of lends itself to what would be a final Superman movie. So essentially in All-Star Superman, he's dying. He's dying, and he only has a limited time left to live. So now he's kind of just navigating the world and still doing what he does best, which is to be Superman, to be that symbol of hope for people. But it's kind of just him living out his final days being Superman. And how does Superman, knowing that he's going to die, knowing that he's going to pass away, how does that impact his relationship with Lois? How does that impact his relationship with the rest of humanity? Lex Luthor also plays a very prominent role in the story as well. So All-Star Superman is again, it's kind of it's kind of I guess a character study of everything that Superman is and what he means to people right before he ends up dying. So I think Superman Legacy, of course, isn't going to follow that story, but James Gunn already said it's taking heavy inspiration from that story. There's that infamous comic panel of Superman saving a girl from suicide, and that is from All-Star Superman. That's the girl, there's this girl who's about to jump off a building and commit suicide, and Superman shows up and he says that famous line where he says, you're stronger than you think you are, trust me. And he saves this girl and he hugs her and he embraces her. And oh my gosh, if we see that in live action, tears will be shed. Amazing. I've been waiting so long to see that scene adapted in live action. And in The Boys season 3, they actually adapted that scene, but they did it totally for Homelander. And it was the complete opposite. Mm-hmm. Instead of
jump off.
You know what, Chelsea? I think you should jump.
I don't think I want to.
You don't want to? Why don't you show a little follow-through, Chelsea?
Homelander literally told her to jump off the building, which was freaking insane. Now that Superman is back, and now it's time for him to set things right and set these Homelander stands because dude, I've been seeing so many people that prefer Homelander over Superman, and it's disgusting. Ooh, and that can't
be real. That can't be real. It has to be a joke. There's no way.
It's just a testament to how badly we need Superman back on the big screen, and now he's coming with Superman Legacy. So another one of the projects that was announced along a part of this DC slate was Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Now, this is super exciting because this movie is literally just going to be a direct adaptation of the Tom King miniseries. And that is a series that is beloved by so many people, so many fans. And ever since this has been announced, the that story, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, the comic has literally sold out on Amazon. So, dude, you kind of love to see it, like the impact that the movies are making on the comic industry. And yeah, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is literally just going to be a direct adaptation of the Tom King miniseries. And James Gunn described this as a dark sci-fi thriller. Because with Superman was brought up, with love, and he was raised on Earth by loving parents on a farm. But Supergirl has a much darker backstory, and this movie it isn't going to shy away from the horrors of her backstory, the horrors of everything she went through, and she's a lot more jaded than Superman is. So we're gonna see that explored with Kara, and I'm super excited. Honestly, dude, like, just if we're talking about the premise of each film or each project that has been announced from this DC slate, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is probably the most interesting premise, and that's probably the project I'm most excited for besides Superman Legacy. Because, dude, we're getting a freaking sci-fi space thriller with a dark tone following Supergirl and everything that she goes through. That sounds freaking awesome. Gio, what do you think about that?
Did you ever read any type of Supergirl comic or watch any kind of show? Because I know there was one that came out that was like, it's got mixed reviews on it. I don't, when he explained it in that video where James Gunn says it's a total different thing. She was born in Iraq. She watched her whole family die. That really captivated me, and it made me excited for a project because the last few female superhero lead movies have been kind of like iffy, like in terms of just overall like showing off the character. Like the last best movie, I said this on the podcast a couple of times, female superhero movie that I watched, it could be my favorite of all time, is Wonder Woman. I think it was executed perfectly. So with a story this dark, can you maybe, like, if you watched anything before, can you maybe elaborate a little bit on what it might be about?
I mean, honestly, dude, I don't like to use the term female superhero movies. I just like to use the term superhero movies. And, when it comes to this story in particular, I haven't read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I'm definitely going to check it out pretty soon, considering that this movie is based off of that story. But, judging off of James Gunn's comments, he said specifically in regards to this film, he said, we will see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents from the time he was an infant, versus Supergirl, raised on a rock, a chip off of Krypton, and who watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life and then come to Earth. She is so much more hardcore and is not the Supergirl we're used to. So this, again, judging off of that statement alone, this is obviously gonna be a much darker story. And what's also very exciting is, because Superman is kind of like everything we should strive to be, it's going to be interesting to see Supergirl's dynamic with Superman. Because we know they're going to meet. We know, again, this is an interconnected universe. The stories are all building for them to intertwine together. So it's going to be super interesting to see how Supergirl interacts with Superman and what their dynamic is going to look like now that, considering everything she's been through, and now being on Earth, navigating this whole new world with her cousin.
So basically, from what you said, she's got like a chip on her shoulder. It ain't gonna be like the happy-go-lucky Superman that we see, where he's a gentleman and he's a nice guy, but he's also a superhero and he just believes in all things positive and good and family. This one's more darker. So I don't know. Is this more like in terms of the Batman that we got, like Ben Affleck's Batman, where he just, like, he was killing people if he felt like it was doing justice? Like, does she kill people? Like,
no,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know anything. I don't know much about her.
No. I mean, Supergirl she's a superhero. She's not a villain. She's not an anti-hero or anything like that. But again, this is just going to be a story of her, I guess, struggling with everything that she's been through, man.
No,
So
I'm super curious. I can't wait. I'm really freaking pumped, man. I know DC
yeah,
is gonna really, they're cooking, man. Let them cook. Let the boys cook. They're in the kitchen with the
facts.
sauce in the pot, the wooden spoon, and they're going to work because they got some crazy stuff coming.
Yeah. So it's also going to be interesting to see the setting, right? Because Superman Legacy is going to be set on Earth, I'm assuming, while Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, that story, from what I know, that story takes place in space. And again, it's described as like a sci-fi thriller. So I'm sure we're going to see some very interesting things. And I'm excited for DC to continue to explore the cosmic realm. And speaking of cosmic realm, let's talk about Lanterns, which is the Green Lantern TV series that we have been waiting for years. I really wish this was a movie, but the fact that they're doing it as an HBO Max limited series or TV series, I think it lends itself to the way they're going to tell this story, because from what we know, this is going to be a new take on the space cops with power rings. Our vision for this is very much in the vein of True Detective. It's terrestrial based, and it will feature prominent Lantern heroes Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, and it's one of the most important shows that they have in development. This plays a really big role in leading into the main story we are telling across film and TV. So, dude, the Lantern series, that's one of the projects on here that intrigues me the most. I mean, for the longest time, we have been waiting for a Green Lantern project. This is one of the most underused, this is probably out of all of the DC franchises, the Green Lantern franchise is probably the franchise that has been done the dirtiest. Because not only did we have the Ryan Reynolds movie back in 2011, I think it was, but Warner Brothers has just not touched this property for over a decade. And the Green Lantern franchise could literally be its own franchise, not even connected to the rest of the DC world. You don't need the Green Lantern franchise to connect to Batman, Superman, any of the Justice League. The Green Lantern franchise could literally be kind of like a Star Wars-like franchise where it's just set in deep space and it's about the Green Lantern Corps, Jon Stewart, so many different Green Lanterns, Jessica Cruz, Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner, all of these different characters going on different adventures throughout the universe. So Lanterns is finally going to be that, and the fact that it's going to focus on both Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart sounds freaking awesome. I love that we're getting both, because I love both. I love Hal. I love Jon. Jon is my favorite Green Lantern, but the fact that we're getting both of them in like a buddy cop style series, with this playing a really big role into the main story that they're telling across the DC universe. So this is obviously going to be a very important project for DC, and this is one of this is one of the projects I'm definitely more excited about. How about you, Gio?
Man, I can't believe we got it. This is the last thing we talked about. I don't know if it was last podcast or the one before, but like they've been doing Green Lantern so dirty, and I was like, man, we better get a Green Lantern project. We finally did, and it's gonna be freaking sick. When he said True Detective, even if it's nothing like it, just the fact that he said he's getting inspiration from True Detective, and it's going to HBO, man, that's gonna be freaking crazy to see those two guys be Green Lanterns, and it's like a buddy cop show, and it all takes place. Do you know if it takes place? Does it say it take place on Earth, or is it is it in space? Do you know? Regardless, I'm excited.
No, it takes place. It takes place in space.
Oh
yeah,
man,
it takes place in deep
that's
space.
gonna be crazy. Because James Gunn's secret sauce is space, man. He knows how to do those intergalactic movies. You know what I mean? But bring them down to Earth. Like you're in a total different place, but you don't feel like you're in space. You kind of just feel like you're grounded still with these people, because he makes it so approachable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it says, so another one of the projects that are on the way is an Amanda Waller HBO Max series. The series is titled Waller, and this is going to star Viola Davis, and this is a continuation of Peacemaker. So a lot of us know that James Gunn was developing Peacemaker Season 2, but it seems like this Waller series is going to replace Peacemaker Season 2, because James Gunn is busy writing Superman. He's doing Superman Legacy, and I have a feeling he's probably going to direct that project as well. In this Hollywood Reporter article, it says the movie featuring the Man of Steel that Gunn is writing and may direct. So I think James Gunn has made multiple statements in the past, saying things along the lines of that he doesn't like to write for different directors. So I think with a project that's as important to the DCU as Superman Legacy, I think James Gunn is probably going to direct that project as well as write it, which we already know he's doing. So when it comes to Waller, this is going to be the series that is going down instead of Peacemaker Season 2. And we're actually going to see a lot of the Peacemaker cast return. So I'm expecting Harcourt. I'm expecting, Amanda Waller's daughter. I forgot her name. Economos. Maybe we get Vigilante and Peacemaker. I hope we do. I really miss Vigilante. And since we're not getting Peacemaker Season 2, I hope we get to see them in some form. But we're definitely going to see Harcourt. We'll probably see Economos. We'll see who else makes up ending an appearance in this series. But Yeah, and an Amanda Waller spinoff series with Viola Davis. I mean, you can never say no to more Viola Davis. She's fantastic. But at the same time, this was kind of one of the announcements that really bummed me out. And here's why.
Confuses me.
The reason it bummed me out is because I thought we were starting fresh. I thought we were going with a full reboot. I thought we were starting, from step one. You're recasting Superman. You're recasting Batman. And we'll talk about Batman in a second. You're recasting it looks like they're recasting Wonder Woman. It looks like you're starting fresh with a lot of different characters, but bringing back Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, when she already has ties to Ben Affleck's Batman, to so many other characters, to Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam, to Henry Cavill's Superman. Like, Viola Davis was, in a lot of ways, the connective figure for a lot of the DC movies in the DCEU. And now that we're getting an entire spin-off series about her, just proves that they're trying to, shit in two toilets. They're trying to move forward with the DC universe with one foot in, one foot out. And to me, when in regards to the old previous DC universe, that should have ended once you announced that you were replacing Henry Cavill as Superman. So, man, I'm kind of bummed out obviously I'm going to watch the Waller series. Obviously, I'm excited to see more of Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, but this was one of the announcements that bummed me out because I thought with this new DCU, I do not want this universe to have the baggage of the previous disaster. And James Gunn himself called the previous DC reign a disaster because that's what it was. As DC fans, we've been going through this for years. We all know that's what it was. But now that things are finally looking good, now that things are finally looking cohesive and we're all on the same page with James Gunn and Peter Safran, ushering in a new era of interconnected DC films, building up to something greater. Why are we still bringing back, things from the past that will bring more baggage to this new DCU? I really wanted this DCU reboot to be a full reboot, but from what we know now, it seems like they're going to be, bringing some actors and some characters back. They're going to be recasting some. So at this point, there's been a lot of uncertainty with DC. All of these announcements give us a lot more certainty in what the future is going to look like. But at the same time, we still don't really know what the future is going to look like. Are they going to bring back Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn? Are they going to give her, another Harley Quinn movie? Are they going to do Gotham City Sirens? Is that going to be connected to the DCU Batman? That is the type of things. Those are the type of things that I think about when we hear about something like a Waller series. Because if you're bringing back Amanda Waller, who has been a connective figure for a lot of the DC movies of the past, how is that going to make sense when we see her interact with the new DCU Superman, with the new DCU Batman, and she's definitely going to interact with the new DCU Batman because Amanda Waller is very important to the world of Batman and his rogues gallery. So speaking of Batman, we got a new DCU Batman movie that I'm so excited about, and it's called The Brave and the Bold. This is going to be the introduction of the DCU Batman, and it's going to follow Bruce Wayne and his son, Damian Wayne, as Robin. So this is pretty freaking awesome. We're finally getting to see Batman and Robin. This is something we've been wanting to see for years, and now we're finally getting to see it. And I really like that. I really like that we're starting off with an older, established Batman, and here's why. Because now we can finally get the freaking Bat family. One of the things I didn't want this DCU to start off with is a Batman in his 20s just getting started. He hasn't even met Dick Grayson. No, I wanted us to start off in my perfect world. I wanted us to start off with Tim Drake as Robin, but now we're starting off with Damian Wayne. So at this point, Tim Drake exists, Jason Todd exists, Dick Grayson exists, and it is confirmed that this movie is going to feature other prominent members of the Bat family. So James Gunn made it very clear that this movie is going to be the introduction to the Bat family in the DCU, and that is very exciting because, man, we all want to see Nightwing. We all want to see Dick Grayson. We all want to see, I hope that with The Brave and the Bold, they tease Jason Todd potentially still being alive and coming back. I've always wanted to see the Death in the Family Red Hood story, so I really hope they adapt that. But it's going to be weird seeing it, or it's going to be interesting seeing it with Damian around as Robin, because he's someone who's constantly going to be busting Bruce Wayne's chops. And I can't wait to see Damien's relationship with Dick and how, that kind of plays out. But yeah, Damian Wayne as Robin, Bruce Wayne as Batman. And when we got this announcement, another one of my questions was like, dude, this is going to be kind of weird because Batman is obviously going to be older, because if we're getting Damian Wayne, Bruce Wayne has obviously been Batman for years. And it's going to, it's going to be interesting to see a Batman who's older and then a Superman who's reportedly going to be around 25, because the Superman we're going to see in Superman Legacy is, again, it's not an origin movie, but that story is going to take place during the early years of Clark's career as Superman. So the rumors have it that we're going to see a Superman around the age range of 25, navigating, his life as a reporter and as Superman. But then on the flip side of things, we also have the Brave and the Bold that's going to introduce the DCU Batman, and he's clearly going to be much older since we're already 4 Robins deep. We're already 4 Robins deep. We have Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Barbara Gordon. I'm sure she's already been Batgirl, and now we have Damian Wayne as well. So the Bat family is established, and I'm super excited to finally see them come to life on the big screen for the very first time with the Brave and the Bold. Gio, what are your thoughts on the whole Batman situation? We obviously got Robert Pattinson's Batman still doing his thing with his movies, but now we're also getting a DCU Batman, and we're going to see Batman and Robin and the Bat family introduced to the DCU.
I'm freaking pumped to see Robin, man. I've been excited to see any kind of version of Robin or Nightwing ever since we got it teased and The Dark Knight Rises, when you see Joseph Gordon-Levitt go on that in the Batcave, he finds it, and then he reveals at the end that his name's Robin, and like you just get this crazy tease, like they're gonna set up some kind of spinoff, and they never do. So just to see any kind of Robin on the screen, I know one of the greatest creators right now, in my personal opinion, High Top Films, is making a like a fan film about Robin, which looks unbelievable. I don't know which Robin it's gonna be about. But yeah, man, I'm freaking pumped to see Robin on the screen and see a story about that. How it connects and what they're doing. It's like you said earlier, we don't know what the shit is going on right now, man. I mean, we're getting a brand new Superman that's 25 years old, and then we're getting the old Batman, but then we're getting Amanda Waller. It kind of sounds like, like we're not going to know until we see it realistically. And they're kind of just playing it by ear right now. Although I do know they have a plan. I can't see it right now. But one thing is for sure, just that story in general, to see a Batman and Robin story, it feels like they never even made a movie about it. When was the last movie? Like in the 80s, in the 90s? The super duper old one? You know what I mean?
The George Clooney movie.
The George Clooney one, right. You know what I mean? Yeah. We haven't seen Robin since then. Like, it's not like he's a bad character. He's an awesome character. Why? You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. And James Gunn knows this, and that's why he's bringing these characters into the light, man, especially with Green Lantern and his TV series.
Because
there's going to be a bunch of them.
Yeah, no, there's going to be a bunch of them. Another one that's on the way is a Booster Gold series, which this caught me by surprise, but I'm excited about this because Booster Gold is such a fun character. I remember seeing him on Justice League Unlimited, on Batman, the Brave and the Bold, on Smallville. Like, Booster Gold is a sick character that I think a lot of people are gonna love. So James Gunn describes this Booster Gold series that's coming to HBO Max about, he describes it as, it's about a loser from the future who uses basic future technology to come back to today and pretend to be a superhero. Gunn described it as imposter syndrome as a superhero. I think a lot of people are going to have fun with this Booster Gold series, and he's about to be a fan favorite character. Like, everyone already fell in love with Vigilante from Peacemaker, but dude, if you loved Vigilante, you're going to fall in love with Booster Gold, because again, like James Gunn said, if imposter syndrome was a superhero, it would be Booster Gold. He's a loser. The reason no one, the reason he comes back to like the present is because no one respects him in the future. So he comes back to the present and pretends to be a superhero. And yeah, dude, Booster Gold is certainly a character. He's a very interesting character, very funny. And I think this series is going to be, I think Booster Gold is about to become a fan favorite, household name. So, Gio, thoughts on Booster Gold? Do you know who Booster Gold is? Have you heard about him in the past?
Absolutely not, but it kind of sounds like Kick-Ass to me. Kind of gives me like that kind of vibe of what kind of show it's going to be. Like a guy who just wants to be a hero. And I love the aspect that he's from the future. So what? Like, is he going to bring like future technology and shit back? Is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, he has. Yeah, he since he comes from the future, he has like access to like super advanced technology. That's why he's able to be a hero in the present.
That's actually kind of sick. That sounds really, really good. No, I know nothing about Booster Gold, bro. Have you ever read Booster Gold comics or anything like that? Was there ever a show about the guy? I don't even know who that is.
I haven't. I just know of Booster Gold, and I grew to love that character through like the animated shows and
Oh, okay.
projects.
He's from animation. He was in an animated show.
No, I mean he has comics too. I just haven't read the comics. I just grew to love him in like animated shows and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, no, he sounds like a super cool character, and DC definitely needs someone like that because it's obviously working with Peacemaker. So to have someone else like that, is it going to be another series or is it going to be another as a movie?
It's gonna be a series.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I'm excited
Yeah.
for the series. I think the series might have potential to be better than movies. They got a lot of good series coming, bro.
Dude, yeah, they're
especially
investing
the
big.
Wonder Woman one that's coming out.
Yep.
That's gonna be fire.
Yep. Paradise Lost. So Paradise Lost is going to be a Wonder Woman prequel series about the DCU Wonder Woman. We don't know if that's going to be Gal Gadot. We don't know. But Paradise Lost is going to be a Wonder Woman prequel series that is set on Themyscira, and it's about Themyscira and the Amazons before Diana is ever born. One of the things that really excited me about this announcement is that it's described as a Game of Thrones style drama set on an all-female island that is Wonder Woman's birthplace, Themyscira, filled with political intrigue and scheming between power players. This sounds freaking amazing. Yeah. This sounds so badass. For those of you who don't know, Game of Thrones is my favorite show of all time. And the fact that we're about to get a ruthless warrior show about the Amazons and Themyscira. And I'm guessing because it's described as a Game of Thrones style drama, it's going to be probably about like different Amazons trying to, make power plays in order to obtain the throne of Themyscira and become, the queen of the Amazons. So this sounds freaking badass. This sounds awesome. Gio, thoughts?
Man, that has potential to be the best show of them all. Not even because he compared it to Game of Thrones, but just that simple plot of them on that island, all those people, and they're all fighting to be. That just sounds freaking amazing, man. I'm just so torn because I can't imagine anybody else as Wonder Woman, man. Gal Gadot is the real life Wonder Woman. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do. I don't even know if you know this. I seen something online. It could be fake, but they're saying that she's in Shazam too. I don't know if that's real or not. There's some kind of screenshot floating around that she's in Shazam too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Wonder Woman is in Shazam. That got revealed in an international TV spot. Just a very quick shot of like Wonder Woman, and you don't really get to see her face, but you can see like the gauntlets on her arm, and she's holding this staff. So yeah, Wonder Woman's gonna be in Shazam. I can't believe that's the way it got revealed. Like, come on now, you could have revealed that. You could have revealed that in the main trailer, and it would have boosted everyone's interest in Shazam: Fury of the Gods by 10. But
like that's how a screenshot from an international, what was it, like a Chinese trailer? Like that doesn't make any sense. Why not just put it in the main trailer? But that's how I found out. I thought it was a leak. So there's probably a lot of people who don't even believe that, like me. I didn't even know if it was real. I thought it was a leak. I thought it was a Photoshop. I didn't even think it was real.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But
no.
That series is going to be, I don't know. It has potential to be the best one out of all of them. It really does.
I mean, when you describe something as a Game of Thrones-ish, you can.
Ish.
I'm in right there. I'm in right there.
Just give us the ish. We like the ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm in right there.
Sounds great.
Yeah. No, but another project that's on the way is a movie, and it's called The Authority. And it's about a team. It says a movie based on a team of superheroes with rather extreme methods of protecting the planet that first originated in the late 1990s under an influential imprint known as Wildstorm. One of the things of the DCU is that it's not just a story of heroes and villains. Not every film and TV show is going to be about a good guy versus bad guy. Giant things from the sky come and good guy wins. There are white hats, black hats, and gray hats. So the Authority is kind of just like an obscure team of superheroes, and they kind of just take justice. They take matters into their own hands. They're a team of anti-heroes. Again, they operate in kind of like that gray umbrella where they're not completely good like Superman, but they're also not completely bad. And yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't know anything about the Authority. This was literally, once this announcement was made, this was my first time ever hearing about these characters ever. So I'm definitely going to check out the comic that James Gunn had tweeted out that the movie is going to be inspired by. But yeah, the Authority are coming to the DCU. This project does excite me because this is a team of obscure characters that not like I never know about, and the majority of people have never even heard of. This is right up James Gunn's alley. This is what he does.
Sounds
He described this movie as like the Guardians of the Galaxy for the DCU.
There you go.
And when the Guardians of the Galaxy came out, that was a point in time where most Marvel fans already knew about the Guardians of the Galaxy, but like the general audience had no clue and had never heard about these characters.
Me either. I was one of them.
Now it's kind of like the same scenario with the Authority. The general audience has never heard about these characters, but James Gunn, this is right up his wheelhouse. He's done. We've already seen him do Guardians of the Galaxy, the Suicide Squad, an entire series about Peacemaker and his cast of characters. So now we're getting the Authority. I'm super excited about this because from the research that I've been doing, the characters sound very interesting. There's two characters. One of them is called Midnighter and another one is called Apollo. And they're essentially just like kind of like parody characters of Superman and Batman. And they kind of have like the same skill sets and powers as Superman and Batman. So in a world where Superman actually exists, because we're going to see the Authority at some point interact with a character like Superman, I think it's going to be very interesting, right? Because Superman stands for everything that we should morally strive to be. He is morally perfect. But when it comes to the Authority, they're morally gray characters. So they kind of do things, they kind of judge things the way they want to, and I guess act based off of those judgments. Whereas Superman takes into account, Superman takes into account everyone, and he always tries to do what's right. So yeah, the Authority are definitely just like a team of anti-heroes that will, they'll kill someone if they have to kill someone. They won't hold back if they don't want to hold back, and they'll kind of just judge things again the way they see fit.
So basically, Guardians of the Galaxy is about to end, and then the Authority is about to begin. This sounds like James Gunn's love project, like his side babe that he loves. You know what I mean? This project in particular, because it's like you said, it's right up his alley. It's James Gunn in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Taking people that no one knows and bringing them to life and making them. You know what I'm saying? So between Booster Gold and the Authority, it sounds like that's right up his alley of the kind of projects he wants to make. Those are the ones that in particular that I'm really excited for.
Yeah. No, so we got the Authority coming, and then finally we have a horror film based off of Swamp Thing. A Swamp Thing horror movie is coming out, and this is going to be a movie that focuses on the origin of Swamp Thing, and it says this is a horror film that promises to close out the first part of the first chapter. So all of the projects that have been announced so far don't even round out chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, for the new DCU. There are still other projects that are a part of chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, but from what we know so far, these are just the projects that are ahead. And James Mangold, who directed Logan and is also directing the new Indiana Jones movie, the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, he's actually in talks to direct Swamp Thing. So that is freaking amazing. That gives me so much more excitement for a Swamp Thing movie. I love horror movies in general, so I like the fact that DC, they're still going to keep on doing their thing, but every now and then they can just come out of nowhere and drop a freaking horror movie about Swamp Thing that is very tonally different from something like a Superman Legacy, The Brave and the Bold, the Lantern series, Booster Gold. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think again, that's what Marvel's been trying to do. Marvel's been trying to dive into different genres, trying to explore and experiment, but with DC, DC has such a wide variety of characters, and they all lend themselves to different genres. And Swamp Thing is one of those characters that can lend himself to the horror genre. So And now you also have James Mangold at the helm of that project. He obviously has an exciting vision that he wants to bring to life, and that excites me because I trust James Mangold because he made Logan, and it sounds like the new Indiana Jones movie is gonna be a hit from what we were shown at D23 and from the way Harrison Ford talked about that movie. So this gives me a lot more confidence in a Swamp Thing project. And that's one thing that got me thinking, like, who are going to be the directors that take on all of these projects that have been announced? That's going to be something exciting to see. Exciting, I guess, what type of directors that are attracted to these projects and want to bring these certain characters to life. So that's going to be rounding up our talk on the DCU slate announcements. Oh, we also got an animated series called Creature Commandos.
Totally forgot about that. Totally forgot about that.
Bro, shout out the Creature Commandos. This is going to be a 7-episode animated series that is written by James Gunn, and it's already in production. And it says this is originally a team of classic monsters assembled to fight Nazis. This is a modern take on the concept. The voice actors have yet to be cast, but the executives are looking to find people who can voice the animated characters and also portray the live action versions when the anti-heroes show up in movies and series. So that's one thing that James Gunn did talk about, is that whatever they end up doing in the animated form, those characters, we will see them in live action. Again, all of these projects are going to intertwine. They're going to, again, lend themselves to each other, and we're going to see a lot of these characters cross over in different projects. So when it comes to the Creature Commandos, we're going to see these characters first in their own animated series, but we will eventually see them in the live action form. We don't know what project we're going to see them in when it comes to live action, but we just know that the time will come for us to see them in live action.
Yeah, man. No, that one factor alone that he said is that when the animated is going to cross over and that he's looking for people that can voice it and act it, shows how serious he is about having an interconnected universe that just works. He's very serious about it. Now, there's a lot of questions, man. Like, there's a lot of questions. Like we just had earlier, like Waller, I thought it was a full reboot, and then Wonder Woman, like, who's gonna replace her, and yada yada yada. Everyone's gonna have questions, but at the end of the day, this guy is a fan more than he is a creator. And to know that we got a fan in charge, I think we're in good hands. Is he going to be perfect? No. But is it going to be better than what we've seen in the past 10, 15 years? Absolutely, in terms of connectivity and DC in general. But the Swamp Thing as a horror movie is something that I hope DC and James Gunn keep taking on. Like, projects that are not in the exact hero genre, but take place in the DC world. You understand what I'm saying, Matt? Like a horror movie, or just, like, what I'm saying, like crazy ass genres they can make, but it's involved in the DCU. I hope that they can continue that going forward. And who's not going to be excited to see a DC movie that's scary? And you said the director of Logan is going to direct it?
Yeah.
Bro, what a freaking director. Like, what a matchup that's going to be. I would love to see that kind of tonal shift from Logan to that. You know what I mean? But directors is a big part, like you said. Like, that is the biggest part of all this. If we can't land the directors, you know what I mean, to match these projects, it's everything. So yeah, man, James Gunn and Peter Safran's got a lot on their plate. They got to find the directors to match. They got to make sure everything's connected. They got to review everything beforehand. They got to write them. Obviously, James Gunn is not going to want to let a Superman movie go out without him totally making love to that thing and making it his love child. You know what I mean? So we got a lot in store. And not to be mistaken, didn't they say that this is just a glimpse at chapter 1 and there could be even more?
Yeah. From what we know, this isn't all of chapter 1. There's still more projects that are on the slate that we don't even know about and that are still a part of chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. So there's still more, and this is only just a taste of what's to come, but it's an exciting future, man. Like Superman Legacy, The Brave and the Bold, Superman Woman of Tomorrow, The Authority, Booster Gold, Lanterns, Paradise Lost, Creature Commandos, Swamp Thing. Like, there is so much on the way, and it's nice as a DC fan to finally know what the future is going to look like and what's to come.
Yeah, bro, it's getting brighter. The curtain's unveiled, the blinds are open, the sun's coming in, it's creeping in, it's hitting the skin. It feels nice.
It's coming. The sun will shine on us again one day, and that day is coming, guys.
It's coming, bro. It'll be there.
Look, now moving on to our second main topic of the day, we got to talk about some Super Bowl trailers, man, because we just talked about a slate of DC projects, but there's an entire slate of Super Bowl trailers we're about to get next Sunday. So, of the movies that we know are slated to get to have like trailers drop at the Super Bowl, because again, this is like the biggest event for American television, American football, the Super Bowl. So many eyes around the world are going to be watching this game, and a lot of these movie studios are going to seize that opportunity to showcase a bit of their upcoming movies and upcoming titles that a lot of us are actually already excited for. So from what we know so far, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, Fast X, the new Pixar film Elemental, The Little Mermaid, The Flash, and Scream 6 are all going to be dropping trailers at the Super Bowl. Now, another rumor that's been going around is that Marvel is going to give us our first look at the Marvels. The Marvels comes out in July, so this makes a lot of sense. Like, I can't think of a better platform to be able to get the entire world to know about the Marvels, and the fact that that movie comes out in July. We are not that far away from the Marvels hitting theaters, so we haven't even gotten a first look at the film. So I think this would be the perfect moment to do it. And Marvel and Disney have all the money in the world, so I wouldn't be surprised if they drop freaking trailers for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Guardians 3, and then the Marvels first look.
Yeah, bro. It's like, forget about the freaking game. Let me know when the commercials start. Like, I didn't even watch one football game this season. Like, take it from there. And I'm a football fan and a basketball fan. Haven't watched any sports. Been super ass busy, but I don't even give a shit, man. I just want to be. I don't want to even be anywhere when the Super Bowl happens. I just want to watch these trailers and watch these freaking commercials. But to get a freaking look at the Marvels, like, that's gonna be freaking crazy. Like, we never heard or seen or known anything since like the first Captain Marvel, like that. And you know what I mean? So to see that hear that we're getting something like that is gonna be crazy. They're dropping another Guardians 3 trailer, which is like, how much more are they going to show us? We already got, you know what I mean? Like, I hope they don't show us too much again. Like, I might close my eyes at that part. Yeah, I've seen enough. Yep. That's going to be sick. And then I'll tell you what I'm really, really excited for. The Flash trailer. The Flash trailer, man, we really need to, they definitely need to drop this trailer, and it needs to be a long one. I hope they bought an extra wide spot, because there is so much shit happening in this movie. So many characters that's going to appear, so many bad things that happen, so many good things that happen. We need an update on this movie. So that is probably the most anticipated trailer in this whole Super Bowl.
Well, look, good news is that when James Gunn was making all of these DC announcements, he called The Flash one of the greatest superhero movies ever made.
Oof.
That is crazy.
Bro, that
and
is
look,
a bold statement.
James Gunn saying that, and now Warner Brothers spending $10 million to play the Flash trailer and debut it at the Super Bowl with everyone watching. That says something. That speaks to the confidence that Warner Brothers has for this movie. And, you know, I'm excited for it. And I don't think it's wrong to say you're excited for the Flash, because guess what? For sure, you know, Ezra Miller is a part of this movie, but you supporting this movie doesn't mean you support Ezra Miller. It means you support Andy Muschietti, Sasha Calle, Michael Keaton, all of the other people that have the tens of thousands of people that have put in work behind the scenes on this movie for years in order to finally bring it to life. And I don't think the actions of one person should undermine all of the awesome work that so many people have done over the years. So absolutely. I'm still excited for The Flash, and the fact that we're finally getting our first trailer for this movie, because it comes out in a couple of months. I'm hyped. It's about damn time. This movie has gone through so much, but we're finally here. This movie was supposed to come out in 2018. Bro, 2023.
What? That long it took?
Yeah. It was supposed to come out in 2018.
Oh, this movie's long. It's draggy. It took a while to get here, man. Man, I'm freaking pumped to just see this trailer, let alone the movie. When does it come out? You know?
It comes out June, towards the end of June.
June 16th, 2023.
June 16th.
Yeah, man.
Look, besides the Flash trailer, I got 2 trailers on this list that I'm just I'm fiending over. One of them, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. It's that movie is in my top 5 most anticipated films of the year. It's at my number 4 slot, and I am a massive Transformers fan. I'm not gonna say I'm a massive, Transformers like animated show watcher. No, I just grew up watching the Transformers movies, and it was a tradition for my mom and I to like watch those movies every single freaking opening night. They debuted in theaters, and I, played like the games on DS, the games on Wii, and I love Optimus Prime. I love me some Bumblebee. I love me some Anthony Ramos, who's like the human lead in this movie. And now we're seeing the primals. We're seeing so many different factions of Transformers brought to life with this movie. And I am super, super excited for this one, dude. Like, my excitement for this movie grows every single day. And to just get another look at the film excites me even more for come next Sunday. Now, the second trailer, I gotta say, The Little Mermaid, man. The Little Mermaid. I know a lot of people are gonna clown me for that, but at D23, Disney showed us the entire musical sequence for Part of Your World. And I cannot tell you guys, I cannot stress enough how amazing Halle Bailey's voice is and how just amazing she is as Ariel. Like, her look, she looks fantastic. She sounds fantastic. And to get another look at this movie, it's something that excites me because, when it comes to a lot of the live action Disney remakes, it seems like a lot of the live action Disney remakes, I've enjoyed most of them, but some of them have struggled to recreate the magic of the originals. But now when it comes to The Little Mermaid, from what Disney showed at D23, this movie is recreating the magic in its own way. And like, Halle isn't trying to be, she isn't trying to be something she's not. Halle, she took Ariel and she made it her own, and she freaking owns this character. So I'm super excited to see our next look at The Little Mermaid, and it seems like we're getting that at the Super Bowl. We're also getting a look at Scream 6, the new Pixar film Elemental, Fast and the Furious X, known as Fast X. Fast X, that's going to be something.
Family is number one. I hope I watch that trailer with my family. I hope me and my family go to space with Vin Diesel. Man, that's got to be the longest running movie franchise of all time. I don't think there's a movie that ran longer. I'm not considering MCU because that's different. I'm talking about a movie with the same title that went from 1 through 10. I don't think that's ever happened. At least that I don't know of. If there is, somebody show me, because my goodness. How do these things keep making money? How do people keep going to see them? Like, I give up after Fast 7. That's what I drew the line. I was like, all right, 7, that's good. Paul Walker died. Rest in peace. We're good. This is a perfect send-off. And then they just kept going. Like, what the heck, bro? Just stop. Like, it's done. Get it? It's done. We're good.
Hey, but, we're concluding with Fast X, and I think they're filming one more to truly, I think it's Fast X Part 2 or something like that. They're filming this 2-part finale back to back. So we got Fast X, and then we got one more after that. So, hey, we've already seen so many crazy things in the Fast and the Furious franchise. Let's see how they're gonna one up themselves with Fast X.
No,
that's what
I
excites
heard
me.
the rumor that
that's what excites me.
Diesel is gonna cross over into the DC universe, and they're gonna continue Fast and the Furious. It's gonna cross over. They might bring Marvel and DC together. They're just gonna put it everywhere. They might make an appearance in Star Wars. They might make an appearance in Harry Potter.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Family.
So, guys, with that being said, let us know in the comment section down below. Let us know across social media. What do you guys think of all of the DC announcements that went down this week? What trailer are you most excited to see debut at the Super Bowl next Sunday? Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. Again, every single episode comes out every Saturday on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. So make sure to follow us on, as many platforms as you possibly can. Every single ounce of support is very highly appreciated. So thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys 3000, and we'll see you guys next week.